This is Mrs. Sebastian, and we're going to look at applications of proportions, the unit test. Write the ratio in simplest form, 48 to 12. Well, we can look at both of these two numbers. You could rewrite it as a fraction if you like. And I see that both of these two, 48 and 12, can be simplified by dividing both by the same number, which is 12. Both of these are divisible by 12, so 48 divided by 12 is 4. 12 divided by 12 is 1. So I could leave it as a fraction or rewrite it as the ratio. Solve the following proportion. X over 3 equals 7 times 8. So we're going to do cross multiplication and do 3 times 7. And then do cross multiplication the other way. 8 times x. 3 times 7 gives me 21. 8 times x is 8x. And now I need to get x by itself. So to do that, I have to divide by 8 because it's being multiplied. To undo that, we divide. So 21 divided by 8 gives me 2 and 625 thousandths. James had a model helicopter. The model is 16 inches long and 14 inches wide. The actual helicopter is 56 inches long. What is the helicopter's actual width if we assume the model's proportions are accurate? So we've got I'm going to put the small on top over the big. Okay, so I've got 16 inches long and the big one is 56 inches long. We know it's 14 inches wide, but we don't know how wide it is. So we're going to use this proportion and do cross multiplication. 56 times 14 equals 16 times x. So 56 times 14 gives us 784. Equals 16 times x. So to get rid of the 16 that's being multiplied by x, we're going to divide both sides by 16. So 784 divided. Find the unit rate for 578 miles in 17 hours. So we're going to do miles per hour. So on this one, we have 578 miles in 17 hours. So all we have to do is take your handy dandy calculator and do 578 divided by 17. Okay, it's the same as dividing the top and the bottom by 17 to find the unit rate. Find the unit rate for 580 miles in 17 hours. So we're going to do 580 miles in 17 hours. So we're just going to divide those two. And we do get 34.12. In 5 months, 34.3 gallons were used. So we're going to put gallons per month. We want to find the unit rate. So we're going to divide both the top and the bottom by the number of months that we have listed here, which is 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 34.3 divided by 5 is 6.86. On a recent day, $1 US was worth 1 and 800 euros. If you were to exchange 149 euros on that day, how many dollars would you have received? So you've got 1.08 euros is the same as $1. We can do a proportion and do 149 euros is how many dollars? I'll put X. X dollars. So we're going to cross multiply 1 times 149. We don't have to have that. Equals 1.08 times X. Then to get rid of the 1.08 being multiplied by X, we're going to divide by it. So 149 divided by 1.08 would give us 137.96. The pair of polygons is similar. Find the value of X. So we have a ratio there. I'll put big on top over the small equals the big 60 inches over the small is X. So we're going to cross multiply to solve. 60 times 10 is 600 and 15X. We're going to divide both sides by 15 to get X by itself. 600 divided by 15 gives me 40. So this side would be 40 inches. Two ladders are leaning against a wall at the same angle, as shown. How long is the shorter ladder? Okay, so we know that this one is 20 feet. So I'm putting small over big. Make sure that those sides line up. And we don't know how long the small ladder is, but we know the big ladder is 70. So we're going to cross multiply. 70 times 20 is 1,400. And 50 times X is 50X. To get rid of the 50 multiplied by X, we're going to divide it on both sides. And 1,400 divided by 50 does tell me that this is 28 feet tall. So that ladder is 28 feet. The sides of a square are increased by a scale factor of 8. The perimeter of the small square is 12 feet. What is the perimeter of the larger square? So it is also going to be increased by a scale factor of 8. So all you have to do here is do 12 times 8, and you get 96 feet. Let's look at an example of this just to make sure our math works out. So let's see, we could have 1, 1, 5, and 5. So 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12. Okay, if they are all increased by a scale factor of 8, that means 1 times 8 is 8. 5 times 8 is 40. So let's check. 40 plus 40 is 80, plus 8 is 88, plus 8 is 96. So our answer does make sense and is correct there. The dashed figure is a dilation of the original figure. Find the scale factor. Classify the dilation as an enlargement or a reduction. Well, I see that our small figure is the one that it started with, and then it grew to the size of the larger dotted line. So this is an enlargement because it is growing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. This is at 2, 0, and it grew to 6, 0. So that looks to me like it multiplied by 3. But let's check some other points. Right here, that is 2, 1, and it grew to out here. That'd be 6, 3. Well, that follows right along with my enlargement. Let's check this one. That's negative 1, 0. Oh, and it did grow to negative 3, 0. So each of the x and y are multiplied by 3. So this scale factor is 3, and that is an enlargement. The length of a piece of paper is 8.5 inches. Using scissors, you reduce the length of paper to 2.125. What is the scale factor of the dilation? So put what you, the original and the new. So put new over original. On a given blueprint, 1 inch equals 12 feet. Okay, and the dimensions of a bedroom on the blueprint are 75 hundredths of an inch by 1.5 inches. What are its actual measurements? So, we got the blueprint on top, the actual lengths on the bottom. So 12 times 0.75 is 9, divided by 1 is 9. Okay, so 9 feet. So then we've got 1.5 inches. So we've got 1.5 inches over x feet. So we're going to multiply 12 times 1.5. Using a scale factor of 1 inch equals 14 feet. What are the blueprint dimensions of a room that is 15 feet by 20 feet? So we've got 1 inch over 14 feet equals, we don't know how long, over 15 feet. I'm going to go ahead and write the same one over here. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. We've got 15 times 1 is 15. 14 times x. So then we divide both sides by 14 to get the x by itself. 15 divided by 14 is 1.07. Inches. Then we're going to do the 20 feet. So we're going to cross multiply and we get 20 feet equals 14 times x. So we divide both sides by 14, just like we did on the other one. And x equals 1.43. The scale of a map is 1 inch equals 20 miles. How many actual miles does 2 1/4 inch represent? So 1 inch over 20 miles equals 2.25 inches over x miles. We're going to cross multiply. 2.25 times 20, that's 55, equals x. So that would be 55 miles. The ramp shown below is used to move crates of fruit to the loading docks of different heights. When the horizontal distance AB is 12 meters, the height of the loading dock is 4 meters. What is the height of the loading dock at DE? So what I like to do is I like to put the small triangle over the big triangle. So I'm going to put the small length is 12, that's A to B, over the big length. Now that's going to be from here to there. So 12 plus 15, that's 27, equals 4 over the small triangle over the big triangle. So I'm going to cross multiply. 27 times 4 equals 12x. 27 times 4 is 108 equals 12x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12 to get the x by itself. X would equal 9. A bag contains 12 white golf balls and 5 striped golf balls. A golfer wants to add 120 golf balls to the bag. He wants the ratio of white to striped golf balls to remain the same. How many of each should he add? So our ratio here is white to striped. Okay, that's 12 to 5. And he wants to add 120 golf balls to the bag. So we could also rewrite this as 12 to the total. If there's 12 and 5, that's 17 total. So we're just going to look at the white golf balls. So I'm going to put white total. Because if we don't label, we can easily forget how many. If we want to add 120 total, how many white should we add? So let's cross multiply. 12 times 120 equals 17 times x. So the first thing is 12 times 120. That's going to be 1,440. And then we need to get rid of the 17 that's being multiplied by x. So we're going to divide both sides by 17. I'm going to round this to the nearest whole number. It's 84.7, so I'm going to say 85. So he should add 85 white golf balls, which means out of 120, the coordinates of a quadrilateral VWXY are given below. Find the coordinates of its image after a dilation with the given scale factor. And the scale factor is 3. So all you have to do with these, if they give you the scale factor, you're going to multiply each part of this by 3. So 5 times 3 and 1 times 3. So V prime would be 15 and 3. Going to do the same with W. We've got negative 1, 2. We're going to multiply each part of it by 3. So W prime would be negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Then X. We've got negative 3 and negative 4. We're going to multiply both of those by 3. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. And then last but not least, we've got Y, and that is 3, negative 5. So 3 times 3 and negative 5 times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15. And that is it. So when you have a scale factor, you're just going to multiply each part of the coordinates by the scale factor. Tell whether the pair of polygons is similar. Explain why or why not. So we see the 120 degrees here and here. So I'm going to build a ratio of the first polygon to the second. And here's another side length. That is the second polygon, so it needs to go on the bottom. And it matches up with this 13 there. There we go. So then I'm going to cross multiply. 2.4 times 13 equals 8 times 5.2. Well, 8 times 5.2 is 41.6. And 2.4 times 13 is 31.2. These two are not equal, so this is not similar.